David, talk about your opponent in the semis, Monk, and he's not from a different part of the country. I don't know how many times you've wrestled him, but he went out there and he at least he made a good showing. Talk about how that match went.
Yeah, he's pretty tough. I haven't had a chance to wrestle him with my weight last year as well. I knew he's got some funky stuff. He's pretty good on top of that cradle, and he wrestled. He built up off his base once or twice, but I'm just kidding. But he was tough. He was strong and squirrely in some of those positions, and I had to fight in there to get that extra point for our team. But I mean, it's a national semifinals. Guys are coming to wrestle. This is a national tournament. Guys aren't gonna lay down and take it easy. They're gonna fight and they're gonna try and win the matches. And that's that's what I enjoy, and that's what the fans enjoy as well.
David, this is your fourth final. Talk about the highs and lows and just getting here. I mean, obviously you don't take it for granted, but any different feelings going into your fourth one?
Yeah, this tournament's been a little different than I can remember. And not that I've been nervous, but each match has meant a little bit more to me just because they're the last ones. When I was a freshman, Troy Letters was one of our assistant coaches, and he told me to seize the moment, and I don't think I understood what he meant by that. Maybe not really until today. Even my freshman year when I went out there and I got beat, I knew I still had 3 more left. I was a sophomore, which is obviously, we talk about highs and lows, that's obviously the high for me. Last year fell a little bit short, and now it's seized the moment time. This is the last one for me. So I just, right now I have about 24 hours to be ready to go for my last match.
David, last year they held your match to the last one, and Caldwell just sat here and said it'd be real cool if they did that with you again this year. Any thoughts about it if the NCAA decided that Caldwell-Taylor would be the last match?
I think there's definitely an honor to be the last match. I think that means people think it's going to be a good one, which means that there's some pretty good wrestling that's about to happen. So it would be pretty special. 2 years if they mixed the weights up, I was the last one. It was pretty cool last year being the last one. I did it a few times in high school. That's obviously, I think, for the fans, the NCAA decide, and if they decide to do that, that'd be great. And I know it's going to be a good match. You have 2 competitors, 2 4-time All-Americans. We're going to go out and we're going to wrestle hard, and it's going to be both our last matches, and there's going to be some points on the board, and it's going to be fun for the fans to watch.
David, have you been inspired at all these last couple of days, seeing what James English has been able to do? And you see him every day in the room, and he said when he came off the mat a couple minutes ago, I guess, that this season's really been a struggle for him, being that he's been hurt all of his career, and this season again too. Can you kind of describe what you've seen out of him throughout the season in terms of how he's been able to kind of keep that in?
Absolutely. When you talk about a guy who lives his life the right way and has had some very unfortunate things happen to him. James English is the first guy that comes to my mind. He works unbelievably hard. He's always, he doesn't take, we talk about warming up for practice. He doesn't cut a corner. He runs every edge of the room. Makes every ounce of practice that he can possibly get in, he puts in there. And he's been a guy who's been there as long as I've been there, and he's just wanted to get in the lineup so bad. And this year I knew, he just was a matter of getting healthy, and he really wanted to be in there, and the coaches gave him a chance. He got in the lineup, got 6 to Big Tens, got in the NCAA tournaments, an All-American. That's pretty special. I was very happy to see him get his hand raised there in the blood round, because there's a lot of blood and sweat that he's put into the sport to get his hand raised and be top 8 in the country, and he's not done. He wants to keep going, and all of our guys in the back side of the bracket, they want to keep going and keep scoring points, and hopefully that's what separates us at the end of the day.
The whole game plan was to see how many times I could take him down. Obviously, it's harder than it looks, a lot harder. He's a solid wrestler on his feet. He keeps pushing, attacking. Even when he's tired, he's pushing into me. And I'm not really used to that. And when somebody does it, it makes the match more exciting for both of us.
Ed, when he was able to beat you earlier in the year, after that, did you have any changes in how you approached your training or anything to do with your preparation? Obviously, you'd gone a long time without a loss. And I was just curious about how you personally dealt with that challenge and now we're able to turn it around here.
Obviously, there were some weaknesses that he exploited. Some things he made me tighten up about my defense. from that time, from when I lost up to this point, it was more of a, I just kind of took a step back, kind of looked at my training, kind of reevaluated some things. I wouldn't say I changed it up as much, except I kind of like backed off of myself, because I was just, I had a lot of things on my shoulders, and at the same time, I was training way too hard. And, he made me realize that, you gotta take it easy sometimes.
Ed, if you win tomorrow night, you'll make history being the first three-timer. You talked about that also. David Taylor talked about this tournament being different. This is his last one after everything he's gone through. How about you?
Yeah, definitely it feels different. Every match that I wrestled here in Oklahoma City has felt like it's like one more chip that's off the block, and each one's leading to my final match. It's feel like it's more deserved.
Talk about making history, maybe.
It's a good thing to make history. I try not to think about that too much. Kind of history writes itself as long as you just keep doing what you're supposed to do.
Could you just talk a little bit about what you think you'll get from Shep Talk in that match tonight? What kind of approach he'll take? What kind of approach you'll take?
Same as I always get. Every time I met up with Shep Talk, it's always been like a decision match. He's a tough opponent. He knows his way around the mat, and I just expect to have a good couple bouts on our feet.
You mentioned how it's your third final in a row. What do you do all Saturday long while you're waiting for that match at night? What's your routine? What do you do to keep yourself occupied?
I probably my PS3. Just sit around, play games. Got some movies on there. Just watch those. Take a nap.
Any specific game?
I got a couple downloaded on my PS3. It's like I have Tomb Raider, BioShock, Assassin's Creed, Black Flag. Play a lot of games.